are making a series on Bible contradictions. In our first video, we talked about some general problems with harmonization efforts. The second video analyzed the case of Judas's death contradiction and why the proposed harmonizations can't solve all the problems in the narrations. In this video, we will take a look at Christian apologist Dr. Jonathan McLatchie as he attempts to solve what he considers to be the toughest contradiction in the Gospels.
So to take one of maybe the best alleged contradiction between the Gospels concerning the resurrection.
Which is it? Now you got me curious.
John 20 indicates that Mary Magdalene came to the tomb early while it was still dark. And if you read John 20 in isolation, it might suggest that Mary Magdalene was the only one who came, though we learn from Luke 24 that there were various women that discovered the tomb empty on Easter morning.
So he is talking about John 20, the part where Mary Magdalene talks to the disciples after coming back from the empty tomb and discovering that Jesus' body is not there. What she says to the disciples is this: "They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we don't know where they have laid him." But why is this a problem? Let's look at the other account. Keep in mind, this narrates what happened right before that.
And it tells us that the angel said to the women, so they encounter this angel at the tomb, and he tells them, "Do not be afraid, for I know that you seek Jesus who was crucified. He's not here, for he is risen. As he said, come see the place where he lay."
So, according to the other Gospels, the angel had already told Mary that Jesus had resurrected. And if Mary already knew this, then her words here don't make any sense. Why would she say, "We don't know where they put the body of Jesus," instead of, "An angel told us that Jesus is resurrected"? It is ridiculous. If an angel told you that Jesus is resurrected, I think you should lead with that. McLatchie also notices the apparent contradiction.
So one might object, well, how is it then that Mary Magdalene doesn't know what's happened to the body of Jesus? In verse 2 of John 20, when she goes and tells Simon Peter and the beloved disciple that she doesn't know what's happened to the body of Jesus, is there a contradiction here?
So, how does McLatchie harmonize this? Let's check it out.
But if we take these accounts to be historical, then we'd infer, we'd postulate, we'd predict that Mary Magdalene must have left the larger group of women prior to their encounter with the risen Jesus. And this is precisely what is suggested by a careful reading of verse 2 of John 20. "So she ran and went to Simon Peter, the other disciple, the one whom Jesus loved, and said to them, 'They have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we do not know,'" the verb udamen is in the plural, so udamen, "we do not know where they have laid him." And so the use of the plural verb there indicates that, or implies that she's actually representing a larger group than just herself, which is consistent with the idea of her having departed from this larger group of women prior to their encounter with the angel and with Jesus at the tomb.
So let me put it in a drawing. The situation that McLatchie is proposing is a bit silly when you think about it. He is saying that the women entered the tomb all together alongside Mary. Then, the split second Mary realized Jesus' body wasn't there, she decided to abandon her group and run back to the disciples all by herself. Only then did the angel appear and told the other woman that Jesus had resurrected, just like the other Gospels say. At the initial point that Mary Magdalene got to the disciples, she didn't know that Jesus had risen, so that's why she said those words. Now, let me explain to you exactly what's the problem with this. Basically, because it turns the angels into the most incompetent divine messengers that one could possibly imagine. Think about it. What was the purpose of the angels? They were supposed to inform the women about Jesus having risen. If this is the case, then one could fairly ask, why on earth did they wait until Mary was gone in order to appear to the other women? They should have just appeared before Mary left and saved her the awkward trip back home. Did they get stuck in traffic or something?
Great news, everyone. The Lord Jesus has resurrected. Wait, where is Mary Magdalene?
She already left.
I told you we shouldn't stop for tacos.
In my first video of the series, I said that harmonizations consist of making up an ad hoc and implausible scenario that logically harmonizes the problem. This solution is a good example of this. Now, let's take a look at another solution which came up in a conversation I had with Need God.
Okay, so there is this scene in John, in chapter 20, verse 2, where the Mary Magdalene, she goes back to the disciples, right? And what she says is, they have taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we do not know where they put him. But the problem is, if you look at the other Gospels, Matthew, Luke, and Mark, Mary Magdalene just came back from the tomb, and she already saw the angels. The women already encountered the angels who told them that Jesus had risen. So if the angels told Mary Magdalene Jesus is risen, it makes little sense for Mary Magdalene to return and to tell the disciples, okay, we don't know where the body is, right? I mean, I think you already know that Jesus had risen, right? Because the angels told you. So it's kind of weird.
So that was me formulating the contradiction. Let's take a look at his solution.
Okay, so I've heard this one before. I don't think it's an example of a contradiction.
Okay.
Because it's assuming that Mary only went to the tomb once. When I would say lining up the Gospels together, I think the most reasonable explanation is that that Mary Magdalene went to the tomb twice.
So his solution is that Mary went to the tomb twice. This means that Mary went a first time alone, and this is the time that is referred to in John. Then she goes with the other women, and that's when the stuff with the angel happens. I don't think this solution works at all. The obvious problem here is that it doesn't make sense for the women to bring spices to anoint the body if Mary already noticed that the body is gone. So there's basically no reason for the women to go the second time. This simply doesn't fit the narration. Another problem is that John says that the women went to the tomb while it was still dark. The other Gospels kind of confirm this by saying that the women went to the tomb very early at dawn. If Mary went alone to the tomb beforehand, this would mean that she went there while it was still night. Now, it seems to me like it wouldn't be safe for her to go to the tomb alone and at night just to check on a dead body. It would be a dumb thing to do.
So the first time, she's like, what's going on? I don't see him. And then later on, the others go,
Yeah, right. And the second time they decide to bring spices for the non-existent body.
and like, and then the angel appears. And so then that would actually resolve the contradiction.
No, it doesn't. But nice try.
So I'm already editing this, but I wanted to add this part. One additional problem with this idea is that in Mark, the women ask themselves, who is going to roll away the stone for us? And it doesn't make sense for them to ask that question if Mary Magdalene already was at the tomb and already saw that the stone had been rolled away. She would have told the women about this. So again, it makes no sense for the women to ask themselves this.
As you can see, Christians haven't been able to propose a good harmonization for this contradiction. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to the channel, and see you next time.